There comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide, will they continue to ask or will they finally command? For too long, people approach life with hesitation. They whisper their desires. They hope, they wish, they beg. And in doing so, they unknowingly declare weakness. They send a message, not of certainty, but of doubt. But the universe does not respond to doubt. It responds to decision. If you desire $80,000, then hear this clearly. Do not ask for it as if it may or may not arrive. Claim it as something that already belongs to you. Stand firm in your mind and say, I command the arrival of $80,000 into my life. I have decided it is mine. I accept it now, and I act in harmony with its arrival. Feel the difference in those words. There is no uncertainty. There is no apology. There is only authority. You see, every great achievement begins the moment a person becomes definite. A vague desire produces vague results. But a precise demand, backed by belief, awakens forces most people never tap into. However, let this truth be understood. A command without belief is empty. A command without action is powerless. You must feel as though the $80,000 is already on its way. Walk with confidence. Think with expectation. Remove every trace of doubt from your mind, because doubt is the only barrier that stands between you and your result. And then act. Act as the person who is ready to receive it. Act as the person who deserves it. Act as the person who knows it is inevitable. Opportunities will appear, ideas will come, doors will open, but only for the one who is prepared to move without hesitation. The universe does not reward the timid. It responds to those who are bold enough to decide. So today, make your decision. No more asking, no more waiting, no more hoping. Stand in certainty and declare, I command $80,000 to come to me through expected and unexpected means. I am ready, I am worthy, I act now. And when you do this, with unwavering belief and relentless action, you will discover something most never realize. You were never waiting for the universe. The universe was waiting for you to decide. Most people approach their desires from a place of shortage. They ask softly, almost apologetically, as if what they want might be too much. This mindset quietly reinforces the idea that what they seek is distant or out of reach. When you operate from lack, every thought carries hesitation and every action becomes weaker. The result is predictable. Missed opportunities, second guessing, and outcomes that reflect uncertainty rather than achievement. To shift from begging to commanding, the first change must happen in your thinking. You must begin to see yourself not as someone waiting for permission, but as someone who has the right to decide. Authority begins the moment you accept that your desires are valid and achievable. Instead of saying, I hope this works out, you replace it with, this will happen because I have chosen it. That subtle change in language signals a powerful transformation in belief. Commanding is not about arrogance, it is about clarity and conviction. When you are clear about what you want, there is no room for confusion or doubt. You define the outcome, fix it firmly in your mind, and refuse to entertain opposing thoughts. Certainty becomes your foundation. People who operate this way don't wait for perfect conditions. They create momentum through their decisiveness and unwavering focus. However, true authority is proven through action. A commanding mindset naturally leads to bold, consistent steps forward. You begin to act as if the result is inevitable, which changes how you speak, how you carry yourself, and how you respond to challenges. Obstacles no longer feel like signs to stop. They become part of the path you have already committed to walking. Your behavior starts to align with your intention. When you fully embrace this shift, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing and start attracting. Opportunities seem to appear more frequently, ideas come with greater clarity, and people respond differently to your presence. This is not coincidence. It is the natural outcome of moving from uncertainty to certainty. The moment you stop begging and start commanding is the moment your results begin to change. Clarity of desire is the starting point of all meaningful achievement. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack precision. They say they want more money, a better life, or success. But these vague wishes produce equally vague results. When your mind is unclear, your efforts scatter, and your energy weakens. Clarity, on the other hand, concentrates your focus into a single, powerful direction. To define a clear desire, you must begin with a specific amount. In this case, $80,000 is not just a number. It is a target. It gives your mind something concrete to work toward. A definite figure transforms an abstract wish into a measurable goal. It sharpens your thinking and forces you to consider how, why, and through what means this amount will be obtained. But the amount alone is not enough. You must attach a definite purpose to it. Ask yourself, why $80,000? What will it accomplish? Will it fund a business, eliminate debt, support your family, or create freedom in your life? When your desire is backed by a strong purpose, it gains emotional power. That purpose becomes the fuel that drives persistence, even when challenges arise. Equally important is the element of time. A desire without a deadline tends to drift. It becomes something you will pursue someday, which often means never. By setting a definite date, you create urgency. A deadline transforms intention into commitment. It pushes you to organize your actions and prioritize your efforts in a way that aligns with your goal. When you combine a clear amount, a meaningful purpose, and a firm deadline, your desire becomes structured. It is no longer a passing thought. It becomes a plan. Your mind begins to search for ways to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Ideas emerge, strategies form, and your awareness sharpens toward opportunities that were previously overlooked. Clarity also strengthens belief. It is much easier to believe in a well-defined objective than in a vague dream. When you can clearly see what you are working toward, your confidence grows. You begin to feel that your goal is not only possible, but achievable. This belief influences your actions, making you more decisive and persistent. As your clarity deepens, your behavior changes. You start to act in alignment with your defined outcome. Your daily decisions become more intentional, and distractions lose their power over you. You measure your progress, adjust your approach, and remain focused on the result you have committed to achieving. In the end, clarity of desire turns intention into direction. It removes confusion and replaces it with purpose and urgency. When you know exactly what you want, why you want it, and when you will achieve it, you position yourself to move forward with confidence. This level of clarity is what separates those who merely wish from those who consistently accomplish. Emotional conviction is what transforms a simple thought into a powerful force. Many people know what they want, and some even create clear plans, but very few develop the deep emotional certainty required to bring those plans to life. Without emotion, a goal is just an idea. With emotion, it becomes a driving force that shapes behavior, decisions, and persistence. Belief is the foundation of this conviction. It is not enough to say you want something. You must internally accept that it is possible for you. Doubt weakens effort, while belief strengthens it. When belief is present, your mind begins to work in your favor, searching for solutions instead of excuses. It shifts your focus from limitations to possibilities. However, belief alone is not enough. Feeling is what amplifies belief into action. When you emotionally connect with your goal, it becomes real in your inner world before it appears in your external reality. You begin to experience the excitement, relief, or pride associated with achieving it. This emotional rehearsal conditions your mind to treat the goal as something natural and attainable. Emotion also influences how consistently you act. When you feel strongly about something, you are far more likely to stay committed, even when progress is slow. Without emotional attachment, it becomes easy to quit or lose focus. Conviction keeps you steady. It reminds you why you started and pushes you to continue when challenges arise. Another powerful aspect of emotional conviction is its effect on decision-making. When your belief is strong, you hesitate less. You move with confidence, making choices that align with your desired outcome. Instead of overthinking every step, you trust your direction. This creates momentum. And momentum often leads to results faster than perfection ever could. Your emotional state also shapes how others respond to you. People are naturally drawn to confidence and certainty. When you speak and act with conviction, you communicate strength and clarity. This can open doors, attract support, and create opportunities that might not have appeared otherwise. Your internal belief begins to influence your external environment. At the same time, emotional conviction requires discipline. You cannot rely on motivation alone because emotions can fluctuate. You must deliberately reinforce your belief daily. This can be done by reminding yourself of your purpose, visualizing your outcome, and rejecting thoughts that contradict your goal. Over time, this consistent reinforcement strengthens your conviction. It is also important to understand that fear and doubt may still appear. Conviction does not mean the absence of these feelings. It means choosing to act in spite of them. You acknowledge the doubt, but you do not give it control. Instead, you return your focus to your belief and your desired outcome. As your emotional conviction grows, your identity begins to shift. You no longer see yourself as someone trying to achieve something. You begin to see yourself as someone who is already on the path to achieving it. This change in identity influences your habits, your standards, and your expectations. In the end, emotional conviction is the force that activates everything else. It fuels your belief, strengthens your actions, and sustains your persistence. When you combine clear goals with deep emotional certainty, you create a powerful alignment between your thoughts, feelings, and actions. That alignment is what ultimately turns intention into reality. Aligned action is where intention proves its worth. It is easy to speak with certainty and declare what you want, but results are shaped by what you do consistently each day. A commanding mindset without action creates illusion, not progress. The moment you decide, your next responsibility is to move clearly, deliberately, and repeatedly toward the outcome you've chosen. Many people misunderstand the idea of commanding and assume it replaces effort. In reality, it demands more of it. When you command a result, you are also committing yourself to the level of discipline required to achieve it. You are no longer waiting for opportunities. You are preparing yourself to recognize and act on them the moment they appear. Aligned action begins with direction. Every step you take must connect to your defined goal. Random effort leads to random results, but focused effort builds momentum. This means organizing your time, identifying key priorities, and eliminating distractions that do not serve your objective. Clarity guides action, and action reinforces clarity. Boldness is a defining trait of aligned action. Once you know what you want, hesitation becomes your greatest enemy. Opportunities often appear disguised as risk, and those who hesitate miss them. Acting boldly does not mean acting recklessly. It means trusting your decision enough to move forward without constant doubt. Consistency is what separates temporary effort from lasting achievement. One strong day followed by inaction will not produce meaningful results. You must show up again and again, even when progress feels slow. Each small step compounds over time, turning effort into measurable outcomes. Consistency transforms intention into reality. Aligned action also requires adaptability. Not every step will work as planned, and not every effort will produce immediate results. When something fails, you do not stop. You adjust. You learn from feedback, refine your approach, and continue moving forward. Flexibility ensures that setbacks become lessons rather than barriers. Another essential element is accountability. When you command a result, you take full responsibility for achieving it. You do not blame circumstances, delays, or other people. Instead, you evaluate your own actions and ask whether they are truly aligned with your goal. This level of ownership keeps you in control of your progress. Energy plays a crucial role as well. Aligned action is not just about doing more. It is about doing what matters with intensity and focus. When you direct your energy toward meaningful tasks, you create impact. When your energy is scattered, even hard work can produce little value. Focus multiplies effectiveness. There is also a psychological shift that comes with consistent action. The more you act, the more your confidence grows. Each completed task reinforces your belief that you are capable of achieving your goal. This creates a cycle where action strengthens belief, and belief drives further action. Aligned action influences how others perceive you. People notice commitment, discipline, and determination. When you consistently take meaningful steps, you signal reliability and seriousness. This can attract support, partnerships, and opportunities that align with your efforts. It is important to recognize that not all action is equal. Busy work can create the illusion of progress while producing little result. True aligned action focuses on high-impact activities, the ones that move you closer to your goal in measurable ways. This requires awareness and the willingness to prioritize what truly matters. Patience is another key component. Even with consistent action, results may take time to materialize. This is where many people lose focus. They expect immediate outcomes and become discouraged when they do not appear. Aligned action requires trust in the process and the discipline to continue despite delays. Over time, aligned action shapes your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who executes, someone who does not rely on chance. This identity shift is powerful because it reinforces your behavior. You act in accordance with who you believe you are. In the end, commanding a result is only the beginning. It sets the direction, but aligned action carries you to the destination. When boldness, consistency, and focus come together, your efforts begin to compound. What once felt distant becomes achievable, and what once seemed uncertain becomes inevitable through the power of sustained, purposeful action.